Hi, friends. This is Brenda L. Balding of Love's Inner Voice. And today we're going to be talking about actions of true healing with a beautiful lady that I'll introduce later. Right now, let's do our heart breathing. Let's breathe in light and love to the count of 4 or 5, whatever you're comfortable with. Hold it for whatever you would like, and then breathe out anything that you're ready to get rid of or to release into that light and love. And let's do that 3 or 4 times just to get grounded and centered for right now. Breathe into all of your cells, down into the earth. Oh, that feels so good and so refreshing and yet so alive. Thank you all for being with us today. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about actions of true healing. We're going to find out more about that from Safiya Femi, who I would love to tell you about. She is the founder of a Reflection Within Healing, a sanctuary for those seeking to heal and transform their lives. As a seasonal writer, Safiya has authored popular ebooks, journals, courses, and articles that inspire self-awareness, growth, and transformation. She can tell you more about that when we start our chat here. In 2013, she founded a DIVA, D-I-V-A, within life coaching dedicated to empowering women and fostering self-love. Boy, we all need that in today's way of being right now in the United States, don't we? Later expanding into a reflection within healing. Her journey of deepening self-awareness spiritually and understanding of the subconscious mind led her to further her studies. Safiya is committed to healing, expanded as she pursued certifications in various genres. Her personal experience enriches her empathic approach and is dedicated to guiding others. Devoted to inspiring and empowering individuals, Safiya helps others reflect within, overcome mental suffering and emotional stagnation. And I know we've all felt that, and cultivate a conscious lifestyle. Please welcome Safiya Femi to our show. Oh, so glad to have you here, Safiya.
Thank
Tell
you
us
so
a
much.
little bit about true healing and what that means for us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. Um, True healing. Well, I want to start by saying that um, the word heal, I think, kind of deters people because when you think of the word heal, people tend to think that they're sick or ill or something is
Yeah,
wrong. And healing is more than just healing a physical illness or ailment. Healing is releasing trauma from the body, releasing it from the nervous system and the mind. So, true healing requires work, not just external work, but work on the mind, work on the body, and the nervous system together.
yeah, that's beautiful because they're all interrelated.
Yes, it's the
And
metaphysical
yeah, it's
connection,
also
mind.
working on the emotions, the heart, the energy that surrounds us and that we're part of.
Absolutely, I
Isn't
agree.
that beautiful?
Yes, absolutely. I agree. The energy, the heart, all of those things are important. Um, as far as healing. The first and foremost is being aware that what trauma is, how trauma shows up, how it affects us. It's trauma is a word that is general. It's not just
Yeah,
one big event that happens and now everybody has PTSD. Trauma is ongoing. It starts as early as childhood, and a lot of times people don't realize that trauma lives in the body and it affects you in your everyday life, how you're showing up, how you respond, and you know, it's necessary for to heal it. It's necessary to release those things from the body and the mind.
that's really beautiful. And, I didn't think I had a lot of trauma in my life. And I realized when I got into a 12-step program, which we don't need to talk about right now, but that's when I got the realization is that I had some PTSD related to my marriage, which only lasted 6.5 years. And I had no idea. Being a registered nurse, just because I'm a registered nurse doesn't mean that I understand about all of the influences that can affect my psyche, my emotions, and all of us are walking in that, what some people call the messy mud of the beautiful flower that can bloom when we're aware. So, why does true healing require not just awareness, changed behavior, and actually doing the work? Can you give us some specifics?
Well, for one, again, and this is repetitive because the metaphysical, I don't think a lot of people understand what that is. Metaphysical is the mind, body, and the spirit. That's the connection of your body. So all three of them together are interchangeable. So without working on all three, then you're going to still experience the effects of the trauma that's lingering or remnants of it in your body. So first and foremost, you have to work on the mindset. The mindset is our guide. It basically controls everything. Everything starts with the thought first. So when you change your mindset, then you can change the things that are showing up in your life, but it doesn't stop with the mindset. You also have to regulate your emotions, because trauma again, it shows up when you respond, and it shows up when you're triggered, when your emotions are triggered. And if you don't know how to regulate that, then it can show up in anger. It can show up in a lot of ways that we don't necessarily want to come out. So, and a lot of times we don't realize that those responses are an effect of lingering trauma from past. So,
Right.
one, the mindset, two, the emotions, and energetically, you have to release that from the body. And you can do that in multiple ways. And then also your soul, your spirit, what you believe in, you have to also put that in with the mindset and the energetic release as well. So when you say work, a lot of times people, that word is also a word that people deter from.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's really the work, working on the mindset, working on energetically releasing the trauma from the body and the nervous system, and working on yourself as a whole, showing up as a better person, a new person, a person that is released from old ways, old patterns, and old traditions that we're comfortable with.
yeah. Thank you for saying that. One of the things that I've noticed is that when I'm stuck in anxiety, or which is based in fear usually, and we don't like to think that we're afraid. But then we have all of these other words for like anxiety, like low self-worth, like lack, all of that kind of stuff. Behind it is usually fear. What I've found is that when I notice I'm stuck in one of those, I start to get curious. Number one, I acknowledge it. Oh, Brenda, you're stuck in anxiety. Where is that coming from? What part of my body is it in? What part of my personality is it in? And to me, curiosity is a gift because if I'm not curious about where I'm sitting, what I'm learning, how I'm showing up, I can't change it. And that's a real gift. I notice that you're also a Reiki healer like I am, and I love doing energy work because it is so nurturing for me and for others. So, how does a
Absolutely.
holistic approach support releasing trauma from the mind?
I agree absolutely 100% with the Reiki. It's energetic. So for me, the holistic way is, you hear a lot of ways people treat trauma with talk therapy, going to see, different modalities. However, one one way can help and support, but again it goes back to the metaphysical, the mind body connection. So holistically you can work on the mindset. I use hypnotherapy, which is the reprogramming of the mind,
Mhm.
to reprogram the mindset to suggest positive changes, better ways of thinking, and to release anxiety, fear, all of the things that trauma brings for us. And then energetically, I use Reiki, and Reiki moves the stored trauma from the body. And it's a natural, energetic way to release the energy from the body. And combining those two, which I use in my practice, it's called Reiki Hypnofusion. I use the two of them together to work on the metaphysical connection, the mind and the body, to release the trauma holistically from the mind, body, and nervous system.
That's really beautiful. And I know you focus on the nervous system because, and I didn't mention this when I was talking about your history, um, but you've been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which has to do with the nervous system. So it doesn't surprise me, and it's an autoimmune disease as well. It doesn't surprise me that you want to focus on that because it assists you holistically to do because we can do a lot of our own self-healing when we really look at what's truly going on and what is the subconscious hanging on to that we need to identify and release. So, what kinds of tips and tools have you found works for your clients and for you?
So for me, yes, I have been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called multiple sclerosis, which as of yet they do not have a cure for.
Right.
It does affect the nervous system, and it does require you to take medication, shots usually every other day. However, I was diagnosed in 2005. Here we are, 2026. I
Yeah.
have not taken any medication. I've only done, yes, kudos for that, because the medication actually was giving me more symptoms of what I was complaining about. So that is actually what led me on my journey of holistic healing, because I wanted to find ways to heal myself without having to give myself a shot every other day, because I did it for 6 months or so and I had bruises everywhere. And it just didn't feel good. So Yeah, I've utilized everything that I use for my clients, all of the tools I've used on myself. I've tried it on myself first. So to make sure that it was beneficial for me so that I can provide those tools for my clients to use as well. So I've used the Reiki, I've used the hypnotherapy, which is what got me to get certified in both of those because it was life changing for me. And I was
Right.
like, hey, I want to change some lives and I can learn how to,
Yeah, for
incorporate
sure.
this. Yeah. So um, definitely it's just been magical for me. And here we are, actually, it was January of 2005. So this year, 2026, makes 21 years of
Yeah.
natural healing.
Congratulations. What a
Yes,
gift.
no medication, all holistic energy healing.
That's really beautiful. Is there any one or two tips that people can do at home to help identify when they might be stuck or when they might want to ask questions, be curious, go to the next level, ask for help? Because that's one of the hardest things for us to do. And I can raise that for me because I'm an eldest of seven and I was taking care of everybody. And as a nurse, I'm taking care of everybody. So asking for help can be a real challenge for many of us. And what kind
Yes.
of help and where can we go? And how can people contact you? You can end with that.
Okay, yeah, of course. So first, again, the awareness is the first and foremost. Being aware of how you're showing up, how you're responding. I would say look at your relationships, patterns in relationships, also financial. If you have a lot of financial issues, patterns that are, hindering you from moving forward in finances, and health as well. I think those are the top three. If your body and your health is, not at its best, and you're constantly feeling different symptoms in your body, and you're just not overall feeling well at all. Our nervous system gives us indicators that we are operating out of uh, the way our body should be. We operate in fight or flight, always on the go, always tired, just feeling overwhelmed, nothing's working. Always my clients, when they come to me, they've tried talk therapy, they've tried all of the things, all of the modalities that are on social media. They've tried it all. And they're like, I need to feel different. I need to feel different because talk therapy works on mental. But when you work on the mental and the body together, the mind and the nervous system, then you can feel better. You feel change happening. And then it gives you the momentum to want to continue to work on the things and use the tools to continue to have improvement and continue to see changes in your life. And how to ask for help would be to basically ask yourself, do I want to continue to live in this pain, or do I want to continue to live in this struggle, or do I want to continue to feel unwell or unhealthy or unhappy? That's how you can act. Ask yourself that question. And then when you answer, yes, I know I don't want to continue to live like this, then you can make a conscious decision to commit to making a change. And then you can start to reach out. If you don't feel comfortable reaching out to a person, we have Google, we have the internet, we have social media, and you can find a practitioner like myself, or someone who you can relate to who can help you and give you the tools that you need to help you on this journey, because you're not alone. We all have trauma. Everyone, everybody has trauma, and everybody deserves to have support on a healing journey. Everybody deserves
Yep.
to have tools and guidance as well.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely. We do. And everybody does. And it's really hard for some of us to admit that.
yes, accountability. That part, just take accountability and say, I need to make a change, or I want to see a difference in my life, and take responsibility and make that commitment.
Yeah. So it's really about committing to ourselves. Um, and that's not selfish. So many of us think that it's selfish to focus on ourselves. And what I realized is that if I'm not taking care of Brenda, I've put your connection on my screen there so that people can see it. Um, so that if I don't take care of myself, my inner spirit, my soul, my be compassionate to Brenda and healing to Brenda, then how can I be present or healing for anybody else?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost impossible
it is impossible.
because I love the metaphor of the merry-go-round. I like merry-go-rounds, always have, but I love it because there's all those animals and those pillars, and they all are somebody or my thoughts or my beliefs or something that if I choose to get on it, I'm probably going to get stuck because it is a choice. And then I can choose, oh, I'm feeling stuck. Where am I? What is it? Do I want to stay here or do I want to do something about it?
Hmm.
And that's, I mean, some people like using other metaphors, but for me, that really works because I can get stuck. We're all human. The
Yes, that part.
the gift of self-healing is acknowledging when I'm stuck, where am I feeling it in my body, and what do I want to do about it? Do
Hmm.
I want to stay stuck, which is a choice because it's sort of a rest,
Hmm.
and oh, you don't really want to stay here. Let's go play somewhere else.
Hmm.
Let's do some healing work. Let's do a mini meditation. Let's go read something spiritual. Let's go for a walk out in beautiful Mother Nature.
Hmm.
And for a lot of us, that just nurtures our soul, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. You'd be surprised. It's the little things, That's one of the action steps that I use to calm my nervous system. I love being outside. I love taking walks. Um, Sometimes I try to get my children to walk with me. They may not. So I'll go and just walk, and just nature, it just gives me a sense of peace. It just gives me that.
Yeah, that's so beautiful because that is one of the tools that we can use is just change our environment. I mean, and if it's
Mhm.
raining outside, I have a couple of maracas and stuff like that because I like musical
Yeah.
instruments. I'll just pick them up and dance around the house with the maracas going. That's
Yes.
going to totally change how I feel.
Yes. Movement
The
is.
anxiety is going to go, and
Yes.
the stinking thinking, like a lot of us call it,
Yes.
you know, or even if we're in big grief,
Mm-hmm.
because some of us are in grief when we lose parents, when we have a big traumatic incident, or we've lost a friend, or something like that. We can get stuck in things like grief and we don't even realize it's grief. because it's not
I,
the typical death.
yeah, I just experienced that. I lost my sister on Thanksgiving Day, and
Oh,
I was questioning myself because I felt myself stuck, really stuck.
yeah,
Grief, I don't think people realize the seriousness of how it affects you mentally and physically, because I wasn't just mentally stuck, I was physically stuck.
right.
And I had to make that conscious decision to not stay there because I was there for a while and I could have stayed there and got comfortable being uncomfortable like most of us
Yeah,
do.
right. Well, I lost my father in December of 24. He
Oh,
was
okay.
almost 99 years old, so I had him for a whole lot of years. And I lost my mother in 1819. And what
Mm,
I realized when I was in the acknowledging that I was in the grieving process, I had never grieved my mother because I went from losing my mother to taking care of my father. And so I never realized I hadn't truly grieved her loss. And that was a whole new, oh,
mm,
and it took me a while to get out of the guilt of not breathing her. She really, when I did all of this work and did some writing, she was really supportive of me focusing on my dad and
mm,
letting her go.
mm.
So I came up with an acronym for grief that I need because I love acronyms because
Me too.
they give me something to focus on. And I don't know
Yeah.
if I shared this with you when we were talking, but I came up with an acronym for grief: grateful, rebirth, internal, energy, flow. Because
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I needed to rebirth myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had no parents. I do not want to be the matriarch of the family. And so, who am I going to be now? I'm still
Mm-hmm.
Brenda.
Yes.
It totally changes when there's nobody above you to call.
I agree. I had the similar experience. When I lost my mom in 99, I was 20 years old. I was the baby of the family, but I was the
Mm,
administrator of everything. So I kind of just went into uh, being the support for everybody, doing all the arrangements and everything. So I didn't have a chance to grieve my mom either until like not too long prior to my sister passing. But then when that happened, it just brought up a whole lot more. So I
yeah,
completely understand where you are. And I love the acronym because I'm an acronym person too. It just does something for me. So
yeah,
that it just really I don't know when you said it, I don't know, I got chills because it makes sense to just let it flow and try to find love and bring it to present moment and find love and bring that person that's passed on here with you to get through it. And that's another
yeah,
way that we express
yeah,
and deal with our trauma and our emotions.
yeah. So, grateful, rebirth, internal energy flow.
Oh, love
Because
that.
grief can stop our internal energy flow. It can stop my connection with divine loving energy because I'm stuck in this dark place. And when I can acknowledge, oh, I'm stuck, and I can rebirth myself, I can come out of like I'm in the cone and release that
Hmm.
barrier. To me, that's what rebirth is all about. I created an acronym for rebirth too, but we don't need to talk about that right now. People
I
can
love
create
it.
their own acronym.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Beautiful words. So I wrote on my screen where people can get in touch with you. I think I did it correct. Trauma program dot a reflectionwithin.com/special offer. Is that
Mm.
right?
Yeah, that is actually the link to a digital home study program that helps release the trauma from the mind, body, and nervous system for uh,
Nice.
finances, relationships, and health. And there's three Reiki hypnotherapy recordings with that for all three, releasing the trauma from the nervous system, finances, and relationships. I do have a website, which is a reflectionwithin.com. And then all social medias are at a reflection within, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, they're all at a reflection within.
Beautiful. Reflectionwithin.com. Go to it because it's really beautiful. Do you have
Thank
any
you.
last insight or action that people can take before we stop?
The what I would say, as a last insight would be to, um, be aware, um, make the conscious effort to heal. Because the world we're living in today is overwhelming. We have a lot of trauma and a lot of things that we are experiencing right now. So just, if not for yourself, for whoever, the family, just make the conscious effort to heal the past trauma and make the change. Be the change you want to see. That's really all, Always fly first of yourself, because without that, you can't be there for anyone else. That's one of my acronyms. And no, there's no such thing as fear. Release that. Face everything and rise. And
Yeah,
that's it. Be well.
be well. And, I love that. Be well. Thank you so much for being here, Safiya. Oh my, what a blessing. And
Thank you
this
for
is
having me.
Safiya Femi. Go check out her website, her Instagram, whatever, at a reflectionwithin.com. Take good care, everyone. Let's do some deep breathing. That also helps us release, and it also helps us identify what may be stuck. So let's take some slow, deep breaths of the light and love of the divine. Breathe it in. And as you breathe out, breathe anything that you're ready and willing to let go of for right now. And then go dance or go for a walk outside. How about that?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us. Brenda signing off. Be well, everyone.